Good afternoon. Good afternoon again. Good. I hope the food is good. I was cooking all night. You can tell me later what we're having somehow. We had said we wanted to begin with these wonderful students at 12:15, and so we're ready to begin. And this year we're delighted to be joined by 3 students. One is an incoming freshman, Maria Packard. We have an incoming transfer student, Sean Radaskowitz. And then we have an incoming grad student, Bridget Patton. Each will introduce herself or himself. Let's give them a round of applause. And I told them there was no reason to be nervous because UMBC has a lot of very nice people, and you will welcome them, okay?
Hello. My name is Maria Packard, and I am the incoming freshman. This spring, I graduated from Mount Hebron High School in Ellicott City. I was a member of a couple National Honor Societies, and I was the captain of the cross-country and track teams there. So at UMBC, I plan on being a math major. I will be a member of the Honors College. I am a Sherman STEM Teacher Scholar, and I plan on joining the running club. My ultimate goal is to earn a master's in math and my teaching certificate so that I can be a high school math teacher in the future. So ever since I was little, I've wanted to be a teacher. Going to Catholic school from kindergarten to 8th grade and being a Girl Scout ingrained the importance of helping others and making the world a better place. And I know that UMBC also embraces these themes and will push me to be a better student, teacher, and member of the community. My senior year at Mount Hebron, I interned with my favorite math teacher, and that further affirmed my dream of being a teacher. Over the course of the year, I learned a lot about the importance of patience, respect, and hard work. And I know that teachers put in so much hard work into their students, so I can really appreciate how impressive it is that UMBC has such great professors and administrators. I chose UMBC for many reasons. The school has a stellar reputation for education in STEM fields, and at Mount Hebron, many of the math teachers have degrees from UMBC, so I knew I would be able to receive an amazing education and be able to get a job after graduation. When I was looking for scholarships, I found the Sherman program, and I felt like it was a perfect fit for me. As you may know, Sherman Scholars are described as students who are passionate about teaching math and science and want to make a positive difference in the lives of others, which is something I really believe in. And then there was the cost, because I'm an in-state student, so it seemed like UMBC was just a deal and a half for everything it offers and how well it fits what I want to do. I really love the diversity here, the academic standard that students are held to, the involvement level of students and faculty, and how everyone seems to really enjoy themselves while receiving an excellent education here. Overall, UMBC seems like a great place, especially to help me become a math teacher. I'm extremely excited to move in on Saturday and start the next chapter of my life at UMBC. Thank you.
Hey guys, how's it going? Good. I'm Sean William Radaskowitz, and I'm a transfer student from Anne Arundel Community College, which is between here and Annapolis. So I'm here to study photography and the visual arts. To be direct, I've declared a BFA in photography and a minor in printmaking and media. This is the part where it gets pretty cliche. I came to my passion for photography through my incredible mother, without whom I'd not be standing here right now, and whom I'm lucky enough to have in the room watching. Hey, Mom. She shoots weddings aside from her full-time job, and I always tinkered with her equipment. Until 2012, she got me a Nikon point-and-click for Christmas. That was pretty much it. Since then, I've not stopped taking photos and reading about photography about as much as I can. I changed my career path in education, and I started spending all my extra money on equipment and making prints. So I've been a part of several shows in which my work is concentrated on poverty rates and environmental condition. I'm equally as passionate for social and environmental justice as I am for art, just for the sake of art. My most recent body of work has concentrated on a little bit of a lighter topic, form and abstraction. This body of work takes a subject and pulls it from reality, shows the viewer just the shapes that make up that subject. So I chose UMBC because of its diversity of people and programs. I wanted to be in an environment where I could learn from as many different kinds of people as possible. I'm also drawn here by how welcoming each one of these groups is, like Dr. Rabowski said. I love being in an environment where everyone around me is hungry for knowledge. I'm continually inspired by the people who are. So I recently moved to Baltimore City in October of 2014, and that move has provided me with the most significant changes my life has ever seen. There's an incredible network in the city called the Baltimore Art and Justice Movement. This network connects artists and individuals with a common goal, the goal to help people who need it. My goal is to provoke social change and promote equality in our culture and our environment. I'm loosely associated with this network currently. However, with the skills and resources I gain here in my education, I'll be able to immerse myself in this network and really begin my journey to the goal that I've set. After UMBC, I plan to use the experiences I have to get myself into a position where my voice and the voices of the people who have none can be heard. For example, working for some organization like Time Magazine or National Geographic, where I could use my photographs to tell stories about these people who need help so that their voices can be heard. Thank you.
Good afternoon, President Hrabowski, faculty, administration, and staff. How's everyone doing today? My name is Bridget Patton Losha, and I am going to be a master's student in public policy and a Shriver's Peace Worker Fellow. I am so delighted to be here with all of you today, and I hope you're all as excited as I am about this upcoming school year. It's been a few years since I graduated with my undergraduate degree from Ohio State, so I have to admit I'm a bit nervous. And I also just got back from serving as a Peace Corps volunteer in Cameroon a few weeks ago. Word to the wise if you can avoid it. Never move back to the US, move to a new city, start a grad program, and get married all at the same time if you can avoid it. It's really crazy. However, I had to get back here into Baltimore since I am a very fortunate recipient of the Shriver Peace Worker Fellowship. I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and it was really an offer I couldn't refuse. It not only generously pays for my master's degree, but it also has a built-in internship working for the Mayor's Office of Human Services, and gives me the experience to be part of an authentic fellowship, working with driven and compassionate individuals. Even though I've only been here a couple of weeks, I'm already confident that I've made the right decision. Everyone I have met so far has offered me with such a warm welcome and really been so helpful, especially the Shriver Center and the Peace Worker Program in particular, whom have really made me feel at home and really helped me with my transition back, making a chaotic time feel much less chaotic. It's no wonder why people seem to stick around here. It is such an inspiring atmosphere, and I'm eager to take advantage of all that UMBC has to offer. And I'm really ready to make my own contributions as well. I'm dedicated to continuing the spirit of service of the Peace Corps, to work towards domestic issues. And UMBC and this fellowship provide me with the perfect opportunity to do that. With UMBC's richly diverse community and its proximity to the unique city of Baltimore, I feel that I'm exactly where I need to be. It is a complicated time in an even more complicated world, especially for Baltimore. I'm excited to be part of the progress and change that needs to happen here. By working with the Mayor's Office of Human Services, I will help in my own small way, as I'll be working on their Youth Reach program, which aims to end youth homelessness by getting a more accurate data on how many youth are experiencing homelessness so they can better provide more appropriate services. In fact, part of my job is volunteer recruitment, so if any of you would like to help and are free the first week of October for our Youth Reach event, let me know. Once again, I just want to say how honored I am to be here. I'm so grateful to UMBC, to the Shriver Center, and to my Peace Corps experience for leading me here. Thank you all for listening, and I really wish us all a great school year. Thank you.
Let's give all three of them a round of applause, would you? Very impressive. So let me ask a question. How many of you have worked, and by the way, give a round of applause to family members who are here. We're all products of those experiences. How many of you have worked or been at UMBC for at least 5 years? How many of you have just come to UMBC in the last year? Stand up. Let us see who you are if you've just come to UMBC. Oh, wow. Give them a hand. Welcome to all of you, for sure. So how many of you have been here at least 10 years? And 15 years? And 20 years? Let's see who will claim it. And if you've been here 25 years or more, stand up. Let me see who you are. Wow. Keep standing, keep standing, keep standing. Keep standing. Let's keep standing, keep standing. We're gonna see who gets the award for today. So okay, how many have been here 30 years? Keep standing if you've been here 30. We ain't counting student years. We can count them. All right. She just wanted us to know she wanted us to know she wasn't that old. I got it. So anybody for 35 years? Wow. Wow. You look good, first of all. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing, Jack. I mean, we know all of you. And then anybody for 40 years? Congratulations. That's really nice. So to all of you who just came here, you thought you were coming for a year ago, a year or two, you'll be here 30 years from now. You'll see. You watch and see, all right? It's now my privilege to introduce our provost, who's been here at least, how many years have you been here? 25 years. 25. Give him a hand for that, first of all. 25 years. Who came here from another country, from across the pond, somehow, indubitably, as we say, and came through the ranks here, and as an assistant through full professor, and as a president of the faculty, senate at one point, a dean of science, and now our provost, our beloved provost, Provost Rous.
Good afternoon, everybody. Well, I feel a little bit nervous here after these wonderful speeches by our students, but I'm going to try as best I can. First and most importantly, I want to start by thanking everyone here today and those who cannot be with us here today for everything you have done and will continue to do to support our students and the UMBC community. Thank you so very much. 3 years ago, at my first opening meeting as provost, some of you may recall I told a joke that was so bad that Freeman told me I should not quit my day job anytime soon. And I just want to let Freeman know once again that I have taken his advice, and I'm delighted to be able to speak with you today. Each one of you has a special and unique story, but each of you are also part of a singular and quite remarkable story. The story and the history of a community that, through commitment and hard work, has dedicated itself to creating a new model of the public research university based upon many shared values, but most of all based on the principle of inclusive excellence. Today, we celebrate our accomplishments and the beginning of a new academic year, and I know we're all looking forward to our President delivering this year's State of the University address. Today, in fact, marks the confluence of three major exercises in reflection, renewal, and rededication to our shared values, the values that have brought us here today and will guide the future evolution of our community. These are our strategic plan for advancing excellence, our Middle States accreditation exercise, and our 50th anniversary, all of which will come together in 2016. I'd like to take this opportunity just to very briefly update you on our strategic planning exercise. 3 years ago, we began the development of our next strategic plan that will be completed by the end of this year. Consistent with our guiding principle of inclusion, the Strategic Planning Steering Committee and the strategy groups working in each of the 4 focus areas we selected together has engaged our community in many conversations and discussions over the past 3 years. The outcome of this work together is a draft strategic plan, and you can find that draft plan on our planning website, and if you don't know it, it's planning.umbc.edu. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. That website contains a detailed description of the planning process, how we designed the planning process, reports, reviews, as well as supporting material. This draft plan was the subject of discussions at our first day of our retreat, and the feedback and input from those discussions and many others will guide the steering committee as they prepare the final plan. I invite everybody, as I have done before, to read and review the draft plan and provide your comments and feedback to the steering committee. But I'd also like to express my profound gratitude to the more than 180 faculty, staff, students, and alumni who have been involved directly in the planning process as strategy group members, consultants, technical assistants, team members, or focus group participants. This allowed us to include in the planning process over 70 face-to-face meetings attended by over a total of 5,000 participants representing the entire campus community. My thanks goes out to all of you who took the time to attend meetings, provide comments and feedbacks, and responded to surveys, which have been critical in the development of the draft plan. Now, once the plan is completed, the vice presidents and deans will have the responsibility of establishing priorities from within the many recommendations, linking planning to budget priorities, and establishing metrics which will allow us to assess progress and effectiveness and make sure that we share that progress with the entire campus community. Finally today, I would like to talk to you about an issue that I believe is of such importance that it needs to be highlighted at this event. UMBC has rightly established a national reputation for the diversity of our student body and our commitment to educating and supporting students from all backgrounds. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said of the diversity of our faculty. While we've certainly made very significant progress in this area, we must do better in the specific area of recruiting and retaining our underrepresented minority faculty. There are multiple reasons for this, and each one of those reasons is sufficiently compelling on its own for us to focus intently on this key issue for our university as it is today and what it will become in the future. But it suffices to say that we cannot reach our full potential as a model public research university without the benefit and the opportunity of a full range of diverse perspectives and backgrounds driving our educational mission, research, scholarship, creative activity, and civic engagement. Nor can we expect to fulfill our promise and responsibility to be at the forefront of understanding and finding solutions for the most important and critical challenges we face today. Challenges such as eliminating inequality in our Baltimore City community, addressing the poverty that exists actually only a short walk from our campus, in our city, in our country and globally. Or using our scientific, humanitarian and artistic engine that is UMBC to address health disparities, or, for example, the differential impact of pollution and climate change on challenged communities across the globe. I know you will join me in a commitment, a renewed commitment to our most fundamental value of inclusion. And I would like to ask you to bring this important issue of underrepresentation to the forefront of our discussions together as we talk about our shared principles and our future as an inclusive scholarly community. Thank you. So in conclusion, this is a time of tremendous opportunity for all of us and for our UMBC. This opportunity is founded on the hard work and commitment of everyone here today and those who cannot be with us here today. And I feel so honoured and privileged to find myself speaking to you today as your provost. I'm humbled by your fellowship and the opportunity to work as one person to help us all reach our common goal of advancing excellence in education, scholarship, and service to the benefit of all members of our society. I would also like to take a moment to personally thank you all for your support that you have given me personally during the past year. I know that each of us at some time or another has been or will be faced with the passing of a beloved parent or family member. But I want you to know that this community was the greatest source of support for my family and for me during such a difficult time. I'm eternally grateful to each and every one of you, and also so proud to be a member of the UMBC family. Thank you once again, and I look forward to working with you over the coming year. And now it is my great honour to invite our President, Dr. Freeman Hrabowski, to deliver the State of the University address. Thank you.
I want you to join me in commending Philip for his courageous and robust remarks about diversity. Would you give him another round of applause? Very important. And so I am going to highlight some of the points made in my State of the University address. As all of you know, when we collect information about what's going on here, the amount is massive. It really is. And I thought about just canceling the rest of the afternoon and asking you to remain here for the next 3 hours as I go through every point. The president of Stanford spoke to all the presidents of universities in the country this past year at the ACE meeting, and he asked the question, how long can people listen in a concentrated way before they begin to wonder? And people said 20 minutes. It turned out they had done a survey and for college students, and it's about between 8 and 10 minutes. So I'm hoping you can stay with me for 15 to 20 minutes. So I will be looking at you to see if you're all right. We are here today to renew our commitment to our guiding principles of supporting people, of faculty, staff, and students, of shared governance, of excellence in education, research, and service. And I will talk in the new student meeting about our history and the development of this university. Suffice it here to say that we are approaching our 50th anniversary in 2016. We've just had this wonderful period of leaders talking about who we are, our planning process, as Philip said, our accreditation process, and all of the implementation ideas that will come with the planning. Let me mention several people who are taking on new roles. And Dr. Carol McCann is becoming the Special Assistant to the Provost for Interdisciplinary Studies. And we also have Dr. Marie Desjardins who has just been an ACE Fellow for this past year, becoming the Associate Dean of the College of Engineering and Information Technology. Dr. Ann Spence will be serving as the Acting Director of the Center for Women in Information Technology. One of our own is coming back. John Fox is here. I see him here today, Director of Residential Life, and Howard Tia as the Community Director in Residential Life, and Mike Bricini as the Director of Major Gifts. Give them all a round of applause, would you? I'd also like to congratulate all of you, the entire campus, for our having the 6-year recognition in the Chronicle of Higher Education as one of the top institutions in the country, as America's great colleges to work for, the likes of Michigan and some other places. It's very significant that, quite frankly, we're the only 4-year campus again in the state to get that recognition. And then I want to commend the Division of Student Affairs for being named one of the top 20, or 18 places named for promising places to work in student affairs because of their emphasis on diversity and inclusion. Give Nancy and the entire student affairs staff a round of applause. It was gratifying to hear our new students talking about their recognition of the emphasis here on excellence, on inclusiveness, and those are especially important in this community. I looked at the project Telling Our Stories, if you've not looked at it, that was launched by the Women's Center and the Women of Color Coalition this past spring, that focused on highlighting the voices and counter-narratives of women of color and raised awareness as one great example. I listened to Philip talking today about issues involving our faculty. I was talking with several members of our LGBT community, and the idea is that we want to be supportive of all of the communities of this campus as we say to those coming in that we welcome you and we want to support you in whatever we do. So give the idea of inclusiveness a round of applause, would you please? One of our new strategies for enhancing our workplace environment has been the Career Life Balance Initiative that was funded by NSF that looks at a variety of topics from parental leave, family and medical leave, family support plans, tenure review, redistribution of duties, workload modifications. And the notion is that we know that people are not the sum total of what happens at UMBC, that it is about family and community and the whole person. And to the extent that a workplace, that a UMBC or any place looks at combinations of factors in helping people to be their best, that institution will be much more healthy, much more productive, and people will appreciate who we are and what we try to do. And that is the spirit of shared governance on this campus. I'd like to commend all of the leaders of our senates. I will call their names and then ask them to stand, beginning with Sarah Shin, who's doing a wonderful job, and then there's Joshua Lubin and Suplit. Sarah is over the faculty, president of the Faculty Senate. Josh, who has served as president of the Professional Senate this past year. Suplit, who will serve in that capacity for the coming year. Dorothy Kaplan-Dottie, who was president of the non-exempt staff this past year and will continue on for this coming year. And also Anthony Jankowski and Jonathan Graff over the SGA and the Grad Student Association. And finally, Bill Slawikowski for his work with the adjunct faculty, leading and chairing the Adjunct Faculty Advisory Committee. If you're here, stand up and let us give you a round of applause. Oh, that's Sarah back there. And now the topic people always want to hear about, budget. I'm going to give you every number, and you're going to have a test after this. All right, so you get ready for this. Actually, I said to Lynn, let me give some of the big picture items and leave it there, because if I start talking about the million here and the million there, your eyes will begin to glaze over, all right? So let me keep this at a big level. The point is the budget this year for the entire campus is $422 million. And to put that in perspective, about 60% of that amount comes primarily from state appropriations and tuition and fees, about 60%. It's about $240 million. And most important to think about that, we have an increase this year, and that included the money to make sure we kept that mid-year COLA, which was being questioned at one point, that the governor did keep in the budget. But about $7 million of revenue increase will come directly from the increase in enrollment and the tuition increase for this year. Where's the money going? Well, about 70% plus will go for salaries and benefits of people who are already here. And then we've been hiring a number of people, nothing like the numbers we'd like to hire, but a number of people, most of whom are faculty and some staff, but for the academic program and for tuition increases to support our students in that work. And so think about the $400+ million. Think about a major part coming from the combination of state and tuition increases, and think about how we're spending the money, again, 70+% on taking care of the salaries and benefits, and that's everything from retirement, health benefits, fringe benefits, those kinds of things. And then the compliance issues that we have to focus on, and that is the budget. Now, when you go to this will be all on the web by next week. You can get it into all the details, and if you have questions, just let us know. I am most excited that the campus takes seriously accountability and compliance issues. The legislature wants to know that when they give us money, when the state gives us money as a public institution, we take that responsibility seriously. And so the audits will let people know that. And while some campuses have had great challenges, we have done quite well, had improvements in all these areas, and particularly with contracts and grants, substantial improvement, and so we did quite well, and that's because of the work and the responsibility that everyone in this room is taking. I am especially pleased with the new shared service centers, the first two in the College of Natural and Mathematical Sciences and the Academic Affairs other units, and this is meaning also a number of business process improvements, including the new e-timesheets and the e-travel improvements. And so you'll see implementation of these shared service centers as we work with a lot of people. If you've been involved in new shared service centers and implementation, raise your hands. Let's see who you are. Give them a round of applause, would you? Want to thank all the people involved in fundraising, Greg and your staff, and we raised over $20 million. Big deal. Give us a hand. Second best ever this past year. And the one grant that is, I think, most significant because of its work in the arts is from Earl and Daria Linehan, who gave us $10 million, adding to the endowment they have for the Linehan Artist Scholars Program. And that was an amount to endow the Linehan Hall in our Performing Arts and Humanities building. And it's one of the largest gifts for a space on campus. How many of you have been in that facility, not just in the building, but in the hall itself? I mean, you get a different feel when you go in. It's a lovely setting, and I hope you take advantage of it. And then Bob Meyerhoff added to the money he has given before, but the one of the $8 additional million he gave, $1 million was to help us, quite frankly, to add for a chair for Michael Summers. And we are so pleased that he has decided to remain at UMBC. Give Mike Summers a big round of applause, would you please? We'll be continuing to build our annual giving program with an emphasis on alumni, and that's why you'll hear me talking a lot about homecoming. Homecoming is October 7th through the 10th. I want you to look at the highlights for that. There are a number of activities, but we need you to be involved to help us as we work to increase alumni giving. Will be very important as the university continues to grow in its development. The enrollment is healthier than ever. The biggest challenge we face is that we've got many more families, to the new students, many more families who want to be here than we can accept. And so families get really upset when their sons and daughters and others cannot be here. But we're working to get more money from the state so that we can include more people, but we need more faculty and staff to do that. And keep this thought, the enrollment is so important. The way we build the resources to do the things we need to do in research and teaching is through the enrollment, which allows us to build the research, to do the teaching, to have the facilities that we need. And the key for us will be continuing to support the students while we make sure we balance things in such a way that people are not so stretched that they can't do a good job. And you do so much that we know, and we will be working to get additional support for the staff because we believe in making sure we're doing well with what we have, but we also believe it's important to support those students in a certain way to make sure we're building the research. We actually had, this past fall, 13,900 students. We will exceed 14,000 students this fall. But to put those numbers in perspective, and that's about 2,900 new students, retention rates continue to go up. About 2,800 grad students, about 11,000 plus undergraduates. Here's the point. It's not just the credit students. If you want to know the sum total of what UMBC does, in addition to that 13,900 students, when you add up the other students we have in our Language Institute, in the UMBC Training Center, what we do in the summertime with students who come here, we actually serve over 20,000 students a year. Now, that's credit and non-credit, but that gives you a sense of just how large the enterprise is in terms of training for the Department of Defense, NSA, for T. Rowe Price, all kinds of companies, and it is a major effort. But the credit students we're talking about for this coming year, keep the number 14,000 students. Student success is going well. We've got the most talented group of students coming in that we've ever had. It's an impressive group of students, and you can look and see all the scores and all the achievements of those students. Most important, families want to know what my students do well. Will my son or daughter do well? Will the person coming here do well at the grad level? Well, for the undergrad record, the point is this: the 6-year graduation rate exceeded 60%. However, keep in mind that case into account people who decide to go to other programs that we don't have at the institution. If you take into account the students who transfer because we didn't have a program like business, for example, it goes up, that number goes up to almost 70%. If you look at the class of 2007, to give you a sense, the cohort that came in 2007, fall of 2007, what we see is that, and you think about what that means in terms of that 7-year period in the 8th year, we actually can see where 75% of the students have graduated, either from UMBC, almost 70%, or from another institution in our system, and it gets up all the way to that 75% because of those who left the state for whatever reason or another institution. But here's the key. Another 15% are still enrolled in a university. Times people drop out, come back. In other words, we can account for 90% of the students doing really well, either having graduated or back in school right now. And so it does say that the students are doing well. In terms of academic programs and academic kinds of university-wide initiatives, I know a number of you were involved in the freshman year book new student book last year. Enrique's Journey, we had an amazing turnout for when the author was here. And we will have another one this year. The book this year is An Unquiet Mind, a memoir of moods and madness by Kay Redfield Jameson. The Peer Alumni Association from the community colleges, involving with this Gates grant that we have, has an incredible project of an online work called Connect Me, where students who are here already work with those who are transferring in. And Sean, it's a great opportunity to get involved. I mean, where we get a chance to help students who are trying to make a decision, and then once they get here, to give them support. It's another initiative designed to make sure there's a smooth transition from community colleges to UMBC. And then we have growing numbers of students taking advantage of all the programs down at our campus, Shady Grove. How many of you have been down to the Shady Grove campus? It is a very impressive, and we need to invite more to get down there. It's a lovely setting, and it's a great place, and we're planning 2 additional programs right now. We already have undergrad programs in history, political science, psychology, social work, masters in geographic information systems, in psychology, and cybersecurity. We're planning programs right now in engineering and translational science. And then the undergrad and grad research days went extremely well this past year, and we'll be planning for others this coming year. The ERCAD programs, Diane and others, went extremely well with over 30 disciplines represented. The Grad Student Association, Janet, and the annual Graduate Research Conference was also very impressive. When I look at the different colleges, the College of Arts and Humanities, we were all very pleased to see the public policy program become the UMBC School of Public Policy. If you don't know it, we now have a psychological training, research, and service center established by the Department of Psychology. And if you get a chance, look at some of the work of the music department with the Baltimore Symphony, involving the Orchids program with inner city kids, and also the work we're doing right now to host a BSO program for music teachers and amateur musicians from around the country in our Performing Arts and Humanities building. And finally, for the first time, we're offering a South Asian language, Hindi will be offered, and it will be the 13th language, non-English language offered on this campus for instruction. The Erickson School had a particularly significant event with its annual Memory Care Summit with a packed house from around the country on Alzheimer's this past year. And in natural and mathematical sciences, the training grants Just two alone total $25 million. The new Bill grant, which would involve a number of institutions in the area, with our being the leader, and our new Mark grant are very significant, and the work they do with research, not just with college students, but with high school students. And in engineering, again, K through 12 grants involving and community college grants, the work with the National Security Agency, with the National Center of Academic Excellence, and the new leading transformative movement in engineering education, looking at the big challenges that we face in the world. And Julie is working with the faculty in engineering on that. Very significant. In student life, I want to commend the Counseling Center for receiving full accreditation from the International Association of Counseling Services. I want to give them a hand for that, would you? I want to continue to commend the Career Center because they're helping more and more people get jobs. In fact, what we can tell you is that they had literally a significant numbers who responded to their survey after having over 500 employer visits with almost 350 distinct employers involved with us this year. We don't have enough space when we have career fairs. If you haven't been over to one of the career fairs as a faculty or staff member, I would encourage you to go. Not because I'm wanting you to get another job, by the way, but so you can get a sense of what students have as opportunities. The challenge I see, the students who go over there to those fairs, I mean, they are packed with a lot of students, but there are other students who never walk into those places. And they wait until their senior year, until May, to say, oh, I'm going to look for a job now. Not a good idea. To the family members, students can start in their freshman year going over to the Career Center just to find out about opportunities. And just to keep an open mind, and the experience of talking to recruiters, that experience alone is very significant. And so literally 60% of the people who responded to the survey already have jobs, and another 24% were already going off to grad school. We know that 40% of our students go immediately to grad or professional schools. The other area that I want to commend, there were so many areas involving Breaking Ground and the work that they're doing, the work that the Women's Center is doing with them, the work of the Student Judicial Board, but an area that is especially significant in our country right now involves the sexual assault issues, and University Health Services successfully responded to the new Title IX requirements and has come up with a way of working with new matriculating freshmen, transfer, and grad students, with about 2,500 students having signed up for the program and about 2,300 who've actually completed the program. And I want you to look at those efforts because they have a lot to do not only with what's right, but what's absolutely essential, both things. That we all learn more about not just rules, but the way that we need to do things, the way we need to be advising and supporting students in looking at those kinds of issues. In terms of student achievements, suffice it to say, we had students admitted to grad schools around the country and beyond, a number of students who got all kinds of awards, from Fulbrights to the UNCF awards, from Merck to awards in the arts, humanities, social sciences, engineering, across disciplines. You can read about some of these awards in the institutions, from the Ivies to the California institutions and beyond. And at the grad level, the numbers of students who went into postdoc programs, others who are going to work every place from NASA and NSA to going into education, social work, a variety of places that involve people making a difference. Most important, people keep talking about a theme of excellence. It was very interesting yesterday when we worked with UMB. I had been talking about the graduates of UMBC who are now president of Clemson and president of the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab, and I had mentioned that the head of the new provost at Howard is a graduate of UMBC who went through UMB. But interestingly enough, I said to the dean of the dental school, who's been there several years, that I needed to get into campus to walk around. And he says, well, I have been there. And I said, well, I haven't spent any time with you. He said, well, I was there before you were there. I was a graduate of UMBC. It was very nice. He actually got an undergrad degree in biopsych and a master's in clinical psych, went on to UMB, got a PhD and a DDS. And so the dean of the dental school is one of ours. So if you've got somebody who's interested in dental school, let me know. All right, but he was very complimentary of his education here. It was very, very impressive. When you look at all the awards, you'll see of just a range of awards for our students, and then several comments about different kinds of competitions, from Team Hubotics, who composed of students from computer science and visual arts, who actually made it to the Final Four and was flown out to California by Microsoft, all the way to the Cyber Dogs, as they're called, who won the national competition at the regional level for the cybersecurity competition, to amazing competitions involving the one that was really fascinating, undergraduates from environmental science, from the arts, and from engineering, who got the grand prize for Baltimore City's kinetic sculpture race. How many of you saw that structure? Give them a hand, would you? They will be going to California for the national final next year. How many of you seen that? You've seen the kinetic structure? It's, one might call it awesome or scary or interesting, all those things, right? It's great. It's definitely a conversation piece, all right? If you've not seen it, please, look at it and let's talk about it sometimes. But it's a great example of interdisciplinarity. Kudos to the chess team again. Give them a hand. Give them a hand. It's very good. We're making it to the Final Four. But let me just say this. In terms of national visibility, for the first time, a team at UMBC made it to the NCAA Final Four. Give men's soccer a big round of applause. You know, the whole time I was there and I was watching this, I kept thinking, we were playing UVA, and I think they ended up 1-0. I was thinking, UVA has $5 billion in their endowment. And they were created by Mr. Jefferson, all right? And we almost beat them, all right? But let me say, there was an article recently that you must read if you've not read it. They're calling him the soccer mayor. Would you give Pete Caringia a big round of applause? And I know Tim Hall would want me to also mention how well the swimming team did. The men's and women's swimming teams also won their league titles. And Chad is a wonderful coach also. Give Chad a hand, Chad, credit. And then I've got breaking news. You hear that term all the time, right? Breaking news. Everything is breaking news on TV, right? Breaking news. Just from the past few days, Mohammed Hussein, who is now in engineering, he went to undergrad school here. He's from Egypt, and he's now in the master's program and in mechanical engineering. He got his undergrad in mechanical engineering. He just qualified for the 2016 Olympics in Rio in swimming. Give him a big round of applause. Really nice. Think about an engineering student going on to the, not bad, huh? That's UMBC, all right? And so faculty awards, let me just mention a few. You can go and look at all of these, and I'm not going to go through these are from the regions, presidential awards, special awards. These are just unbelievable people, from Kate Brown in history to Eileen O'Brien in psychology, Michelle Scott who's in history, to Catherine Seeley Radke, to Sean Bediaco, all faculty. Give them all a big round of applause for the awards they got. And then among staff members, Julie Rosenthal and David Hoffman and Susan Martin and Susan Laurel and Dottie Kaplan and Brian Souders. Give them all also a round of applause. Souders, Brian and Souders. And so it's very, very significant that we've got large numbers of people who are getting the career awards, they're getting fellowships, we're getting all kinds of awards for national competitions of different types. It is very significant. In the area of research, it is significant that we got this FFRDC and Anupam Yoshi and all the people involved. Carl Steiner should be commended. That MOU, the FFRDC, Federally Funded Research Consortium in Cybersecurity, first of its kind in the country, the MOU is for $5 billion. Over 25 years, and we are the lead university with College Park, but lead innovator, lead technology person, Anupam. We're very pleased about that. You think about it, you get 1% of $5 billion, you're happy. You get my point? So it's a big deal. We're very proud of that we were able to get that. And you'll be hearing more and more about that initiative. You should also know about the partnership we have with the Naval Academy. You know that we will be the first campus in the state to have Navy ROTC. And we've also signed an MOU and collaborative research and development with a CRADA with the Naval Academy. You'll be hearing more and more about that. You should know about the work we're doing with UMB, considerable research initiatives involved in partnerships involved across disciplines involving our campus and the professional schools downtown. And then finally, I want you to know about the federal awards related to the environment. We've got 2 major sustainability grants with other universities totaling over $30 million, and both Ziv in chemistry and Claire in, involving urban water. Give them a hand for the sustainability grants that they have. And interestingly enough, when thinking about the environment, there's several things that I had wanted to mention, and a couple of them have to do with the fact that if you come in to the campus, first of all, the projects that you see on campus, and we thanked our graduate, Adrienne Jones, for the work she's done. Give Delegate Jones a round of applause, would you please? And if you've not looked up, we're getting this third green roof. They're putting up these pieces. Have you seen it? If you come in, you see it, right? You know, I was just told today, they asked me if I wanted to ride up on the crane thing. I said, I don't think so, but I did. Why? You may call me a wimp. I don't mind, all right? I don't think, but it takes 3.5 minutes to get it up, each piece of glass. There are 18 pieces of glass that are going up there. It's fascinating because it takes an hour then to get that one piece of glass positioned. So if you just get that sense of it. But it's the third green roof. How many of you can tell me where the other 2 green roofs are? How many of you know where the other 2 green roofs on campus are located? It's very interesting. One is, okay, who can tell me? Somebody say it. Patapsco is one, if you want to go see that. And where's the other one? The community center. Have you been? How many of you been over to the community center over in the Reds Life area? Need to have some events over there. It's very nice. So those are the 3. Lynn asked me today, and I knew about one for sure. And so don't feel too bad. I mean, I was just learning myself. Don't think I knew all this. I really did not. All right. It's very important. Let me just mention in terms of engagement, there's so much that could be said. The one most important thing to mention is that we are hosting, one of the hosts for the National Conference for Imagining America. And I really want to commend Scott and Kathy and others in Arts and Humanities and Social Sciences for being at the key of this, but it's a prominent consortium of universities and organizations dedicated to advancing the public and civic purposes of the humanities, arts, and design. There will be over 300 leaders from America here convening in Baltimore in October, and we are working to build relationships based on all of the work we're doing on this campus involving over 140 courses and projects and activities of engagement. So it's a lot for new students to be involved in. Give them a hand for what they're doing with that. And as we listen to people talking about engagement, you should know every college, science, engineering, arts and humanities, all of them are involved in the work of those places. And building on work we've done with the Shriver Center, for example, for years and years. We had choice jobs yesterday. We got smoothies. We are literally working to help first-time offenders. You know, we supervise over 500. We're helping them to get jobs. We're keeping them out of trouble. We're giving them support, and we'll continue to do that. Let me mention capital projects. We have had over $500 million in projects recently. What is significant is you've seen the campus gateway that's about to be finished. We're in the process of designing the new interdisciplinary life sciences building. We are renovating right now, as you know, and investing about $17 million of our own money, which is really just showing that commitment in the Fine Arts Building for a number of departments and offices that will be going there. We are in the process right now of finishing the renovation of the West Hill apartments, and we are designing the new event center and arena. That will be very significant. We'll have over 4,700 fixed seats with a total capacity of 6,000 seats, and it will be an exciting venue for athletic events, for concerts, for performances, for major student life events, and I think everybody would appreciate this. We'll be able to bring commencement back here in May 2018. Give us a hand for that idea. I think you know that the library pond that stores and treats rainwater from all uphill areas of the west side of the campus is being restored, and we're in the process of, and that's a major part of the stormwater management system for the Performing Arts and Humanities building. And then what I want you to think about, I'm very pleased that the renovations to the preschool center have been completed in time to provide a high-quality early learning environment for children this fall. Big hand for that idea, would you? One final comment about technology, and then final paragraph. Here we are. One of the major trends in IT has been leveraging cloud computing to provide campus services that are most cost-effective, faster to implement, tailored to the needs of the campus, and using best practices in securing confidential information. By the end of 2015, we will have 42 cloud applications licensed for campus use. Give Jack and all of his colleagues a hand for what they do, would you? So, as it turns out, as we talk about the demands of technology, on an average day, we experience as many as 15,000 wireless devices simultaneously connected to our network. As a result of that growth, we've added 300 more wireless access points, and we now have almost 1,800 of them on our campus. And so during this last year, we decided, in working between VP for Research and the Provost, we have tripled the high-performance computing HPC capacity on our campus, and we are in the final stages of a big NSF grant to upgrade our campus research internet connection to 100 gigabytes. And Seuss gets a lot of credit for that, for his work. Give us all a big hand, but give him a hand, would you? And finally, and I want you to stay through the singing of the alma mater, but let me just say to you, I am more optimistic now than ever before. Bob Corrett, the new chancellor, came to campus, and as he was leaving, he said something that was very significant. He said, Freeman, he said, you feel the momentum of your campus. You sense the thinking of the people. It's such a healthy place. He talked about the data gallery. He talked about people who were just friendly to him coming up. He said you could just look into the faces of the people and the pride they were experiencing just in being at the institute. He said, I get it. I really get it. He also got the part that I was saying we need more money. He got that too. I have no shame about that. You can believe that, all right? All right. But it was just, and he had never, just the idea of having 200 leaders taking ownership of the place, working with everybody else, it really does say shared governance. And so it is very clear, as we talked yesterday about making a difference in Baltimore, as we listen to our alumni of all races talking about what they're doing, from education to social work to law to the deputy mayor, it was so clear we do make a difference, not just in Baltimore, but I thought about it, just across this country and beyond. And so the key for all of us, every place may say that people count. We are working to find more and more ways where people really do make a difference. I've said this before. I'll say it again. It is an honor to be president at UMBC. Thank you all very much. So you can read and get much more off of here. And your eyes didn't glaze that much. I was watching you. I was watching you. So now we want the singing of the alma mater, and then we can leave. All right, please stand, and nobody leave until we come. And help students understand, when the alma mater is being sung, no one is to leave the venue. Very important. It is out of respect for ourselves. You can find it on the program.
Together in true unity.
Thank you all. We are off and running.